Good morning, Fredonia, and also all of you listening out there. I am Abby, and I am joined with...
I'm Matt.
Yay! And I have Matt here today for my show. I'm calling it for right now. This might not stick, this name. It's called This or That. And basically, we're doing like a March Madness kind of bracket situation where we have a topic, and we're going to discuss through the topic until we get to the best thing within the topic. And Matt is here because I chose today's topic to be Taylor Swift songs.
What better of a show could there be for me that talks about, that is a March Madness style thing involving Taylor Swift songs?
No, and it's so funny because Matt, before we started, when the booth plays were going on, he was like, if I had a nickel for every time I was on a Taylor Swift show.
That's right.
I would have 2 nickels.
That's right, because there used to be a show on WDVL. It was called Meet Me at Midnight that Harry Heffler hosted.
I was on
a guest
that
on
a few
it.
times,
Yep.
yeah. And Matt is also wearing his Taylor Swift shirt.
I am. I figured
not.
I'd be corny. After my 2.5 hours of Radiothon stoked sleep.
Yeah, I
figured.
had about that much sleep too. Yeah.
Yep. Although I did go home and sleep in my nice comfy bed instead of
I
sleeping in
did the same thing, but after this, because I have hours in the station, I'm sleeping on your couch in your office. I'm so tired.
I have no idea how long I'll be here. As Radiothon rolls on, we've got a little less than 5 hours left.
Yeah.
So we're chugging along. We're at about hour
weird.
17, 18, yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird that we're not ending on big cheese.
I know. We're so used to be the big cheeseburger challenge at the end of Radiothon, but we did have hot ones last night.
And I heard it was hot.
Yeah, I also heard it was very hot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to get started.
Fantastic.
So basically, I told Matt prior to this that I looked up the 2 most streamed songs on each album. And I did not include any extra songs, so anything she's featured on or whatever. I was just choosing the albums. And then I also did choose the Taylor's version albums because the extra songs, so the vault songs, some of them are actually some of the top streamed. So we're going to start with Debut. And
of course, start at the very beginning,
yes, of course. And our 2 popular songs are Our Song and Teardrops on My Guitar.
2 classics.
For sure. I want to hear your opinion first of which one you like more.
I'm going to go with Our Song. Our Song is Teardrops on My Guitar is awesome.
Yeah.
But Our Song is one of my all-time favorite Taylor songs, period.
That's fair. I bring back the country accent when she re-records this album.
I agree. I love country Taylor. My favorite albums are her early ones.
It's so funny because she doesn't even genuinely have a country accent.
No,
she just kind of faked it.
Yeah,
and it's kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah.
Because then she just dropped it one day.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. I have to oppose you because I personally like Teardrops on My Guitar solely because I'm I may be 19, and I'm closer to 20 than I am to being a teenager, but I'm just man, this is such teenage girly feelings, and I still feel so teenage girly.
Right.
And I feel like I'm gonna be a teenage girl until I'm 25.
Yes. That's the thing. It's I'm such a hopeless romantic.
That's so real.
And that's why I love Our Song, because it's it's so cutesy and it's so being in love and all that sort of stuff. But Teardrops on My Guitar is also very good.
It is good. With that one too, I don't know. I'm just a sucker for ballads.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And she has some great ones.
And especially for 16 years old when she's writing, that song, I can think those things, but I don't, at 16, but I don't think I would have been able to articulate any of those kinds of feelings that she did so well in that song at 16 years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was very perceptive for a teenager.
Yeah, her lyrics have really always been a strong suit of hers.
But I do see your defense for Our Song because it is such a classic on that album. And it's a good song to dance to. Imagine if they played that at one of the bars.
I would if I ever heard that out, I would be so happy.
At Old Main.
I would that song it's so good.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a classic.
I think I'm going to go with you on this one.
Okay.
Just because it is such a when you think of this album, I feel like most people think of this song.
Yes.
It's either this song or Should Have Said No.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I guess Our Song.
I am surprised that one wasn't a top one.
Yeah. I mean, those 2 are both absolute classics of hers, but she really for as much as Debut kind of gets ragged on at times, it has some very good songs.
No, genuinely, because I actually love this album.
I do too.
It's so again, like I said, it's so good for like a 16-year-old,
Yeah.
like the way she wrote it.
Oh yeah. Shout out, my favorite song from that album is Mary's Song.
Oh,
my,
yeah.
my.
I remember. We
I
talked
love
about
that
this.
song.
I still think that this one, Teardrops on My Guitar, is my favorite from this album, but Stay Beautiful is also another favorite.
Yeah, that's a
of mine
great
from
one.
that album.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
So we're going to go on to Fearless now.
Oh man.
Is this your favorite album?
It is really close. Fearless is number 2. Speak Now is number 1.
Oh, okay. We're going to get there.
Yes.
I just figured, I don't know why, I just thought you were a Fearless girly.
I am in some aspects, yeah.
Okay, so for Fearless, we have Love Story and You Belong With Me.
Man.
Again, 2 classics. I think I would go with You Belong With Me. As much as I love Love Story,
Yeah.
I'm like, You Belong With Me, I can find myself like in my room. Like that song comes on,
Yep.
I'm dancing. Like
It's so hard. I love both of these songs. And I will say, when I went to the Eras tour, which was, yes, I
So
was
sad.
there it was when she was in Pittsburgh in June of 2023. And I remember when You Belong With Me came out, like I'm thinking that I'm going to get emotional during like the slower, I'm thinking I'm going to cry.
You got emotional during
Right.
this one.
I'm thinking I'm going to cry during like All Too Well or
Yeah.
during like Enchanted or something. Or like during anything from Folklore.
But you
Evermore.
cried during
Nope.
this one.
It was You Belong With Me that literally made me
crazy.
tear up. And the reason for it is because like when I like growing up as a kid, I like you didn't, at least where I went to school, it was boys didn't listen to quote unquote girl music.
Yeah.
And so I always kind of had to hide the fact that I really
Aw.
liked Taylor Swift and I really loved that song. And so
You don't
I
have
was
to hide
jamming
it
out. I was like,
anymore.
this is for you. I was like 8-year-old Matt, this is for you.
Yeah, that healed your inner child.
It really did in a lot of ways. It's so close because I love both of these songs. I am gonna go with You Belong
Yeah,
With Me though.
okay. You know
it's
what?
really close though.
You know what? You saw Taylor Swift, but you know what? I saw Sabrina Carpenter.
That's
so-
true, you did. And I would have loved to have seen
Especially
Sabrina.
because the night of the show that I went to, she did sing that Shania Twain song. And you love
Oh my-
Shania Twain.
Are you talking about Man, I Feel Like a Woman?
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's literally maybe my
Yeah.
favorite song on the face of the earth.
And before we started, I did tell Matt about, not to divert from the topic
Right.
of Taylor Swift, but Sabrina Carpenter is adjacent. So
That's true.
I was telling Matt that I saw a post from her and it was like in her Christmas special, Shania Twain does appear. And now Matt's like, I gotta watch it.
I love
And
Shania
Chapel Roan is in it too.
Yes, and I love Chapel Roan too.
The pop girlies were going off this year. And that's
Right.
exactly what Molly and Justin were saying yesterday
right.
on New Music Friday.
Yeah.
That it was very pop girly this year.
Very much, and I love it.
Okay, now we're on your favorite album of
Here we
Speak
go.
Now. And we have Enchanted and then also a vault track, I Can See You.
Okay.
That's a good song.
First
I
vault
love
track.
the music video for
I
that
do
song.
too. That one
Taylor
was
Lautner
awesome.
being there.
That
I
was
love
so
that
cool.
guy.
And Joey King too. That was awesome.
No, and then when she brought them on stage for one of those shows for the
Yeah.
Eras tour, that was crazy. And he
Yeah.
did a backflip.
That was incredible. It was. I love that song. I'm gonna go with Enchanted for sure.
I have to agree with you because as much as I love I Can See You, Enchanted is so, especially because like that's one of my, even though, well, first of all, she took Long Live off of that set.
Yeah, and
I'm sad
are you
about it.
kidding me? Long Live is my favorite song from this album.
Yeah, but we didn't even talk about
It is.
We didn't even talk about for Fearless what our favorite songs are actually. From
It's
this
for
album.
me. It's You Belong With Me.
Oh, it is?
And Love Story is a very close second. Those are my top 2.
Mine is The Way I Loved You.
That's also a great.
That's a good
song.
one. Okay, now we're gonna go back to this. Back to Speak Now. Yeah. So I agree with you with Enchanted.
Yeah.
I just think, especially because like the reason why I love that set of Speak Now is I just love like her big ball gowns. Like that's like the best part.
Yeah.
Like my favorite one is the cupcake like one with like the different tiered layer. Like that one's so pretty.
I have somewhere on picture or video the one that she wore in Pittsburgh, but I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was.
But yeah, I think off of this album, my favorite is Foolish One.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
Another
I
vault
like that
track.
one.
Yep.
I feel next we're on to Red, and I have a feeling we're already going to agree about this one too, because we have All Too Well 10-minute version, and then we have I Knew You Were Trouble, and
All Too Well 10-minute version is the song that made me like a Swiftie. Yeah, I always listened to like a couple of her songs, but I was never like a huge fan. And so I was a senior in high school when Red Taylor's version was released. And I remember the day it was released, I was sitting in my economics class And we had a substitute teacher that day. And so we're just, messing around in class, whatever.
Yeah.
And the other girls in the class were talking about Taylor Swift's new album. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know she was releasing something. And they were like, yeah, she re-released Red. And
everyone's like,
yeah. And they were like, Matt, have you heard the 10-minute version of All Too Well? I'm like, I haven't even heard the original version of All Too Well.
No, dude, it's so crazy. It's just, man.
It literally like that. I remember they pulled it up on like the big screen in front of the entire class and they showed it. And I promise you, my entire life was transformed in those 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding.
My favorite thing about this song is this meme that I've seen from it is that Jake Gyllenhaal did not survive 2 bridges. And it was like Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
And then Taylor Swift, like this song.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, ooh. She really got him in this one.
Yeah. It's just, it is the only 10-minute song that I know every word to. And I can
literally. And
that.
it's like one of the only songs like I can actually, like one of the only long songs that I can actually like listen to without feeling like exhausted of it.
I agree. It does not even feel like it's 10 minutes.
No, it doesn't. So I think we agree that
for sure
this one goes on.
Yeah, definitely. I knew Your Trouble was good. But,
All Too Well 10-minute version is like a favorite of mine off this album. Personally, I think Message in a Bottle is my favorite.
That's a good one.
This one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. All Too Well 10-minute version is like maybe my number one Taylor song because that song maybe.
And also like the namesake Red, that song is also
that's
really
a great
good.
one.
I like that one. Did you actually not to switch to the topic for a second, but on Spotify, did you see that when you click like Taylor Swift song, not for Tortured Poets Department, I don't know why that one doesn't have this, but for the other songs on all the albums, when you press like the pause and play, little like things come out of the play button.
I didn't notice
so
that.
like you, I noticed this the other day when I was on Spotify, and I clicked stop on a debut song, and little butterflies came out from the play button, and then like for 1989, it's birds.
Okay.
And you're gonna have to look because it's
I gotta
so
check
cool.
that.
I don't know why it doesn't have it for Tortured Poets Department because you could do like little paper. But
absolutely.
whatever.
This was the first year, speaking of Spotify rap, this is the first time in like 3 years that Taylor was not my number one artist.
She was my number one for the 3rd year in a row.
This would have been my 3rd year in a row. She dropped to number 2 because Luke Combs took the top spot.
I was really hoping Chapel Roan would have made it onto my rap.
She didn't make it on
Big
mine
Time
either.
Rush made it on. I don't know how that happened.
Hey, I had a couple years ago.
I love Big Time Rush.
I think it was 2020. I had Troy Bolton on mine. I'm
That's
serious.
insane. Oh my God. I have a TikTok I need to show you later.
Yeah.
But it was someone committed to the bit of the TikTok sound of the Jimmy Buffett. Like,
oh yeah.
And they literally had all of those Jimmy Buffett songs on. I have to show you.
Yeah. He was my number 5 artist, I think.
We love Jimmy Buffett.
We do.
Margaritaville.
We love Jimmy Buffett.
You love Margaritaville.
I do. And I actually hosted a show in the spring at Radiothon with our dear graduated friend Chloe Kowalik at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It was called as 5 o'clock somewhere, very aptly named. And it's on YouTube now, too.
All right. Next, we're on to 1989, and we have Wildest Dreams, and then another vault track, Is It Over Now?
It's interesting. I'm going to go with Wildest Dreams. And funny enough, I never really listened to Wildest Dreams that much until like maybe a year and a half ago. Like I was like in college. And I remember for some reason, I think I had seen a TikTok at it or something. And for some reason, like the ending, the last couple of minutes of Wildest Dreams, I was like transformed.
I have to agree with you on this one because as much as I do love this vault track, because it is really good, I don't think anything can top like this song because I remember when she like re-released it too.
Yeah, and that's
like,
the one.
Everyone was freaking out.
Yeah, and it's so good too.
It is so good. I just like this one.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, and then go. It's not okay.
Google Slide's not cooperating as per usual.
It's okay. Next we have Reputation. Everyone's still clowning about this one getting re-released.
Still waiting for it.
Still waiting. Maybe at the Grammys she'll do another boom like drop. Maybe. I hope she doesn't though. Honestly, as much as I love her, not at the Grammys, please.
Right.
So we have Don't Blame Me and Look What You Made Me Do. I have to go with Don't Blame Me.
Yeah, this is a close one. I'm gonna go with Don't Blame Me too. That is a close one.
Especially seeing that in concert, like
that
you
was
were
cool.
transformed in that.
That
moment.
was cool. That the Reputation is not one of I won't say I don't like it, but Reputation is not like one of my top favorite albums of hers, but
I can't wait for the vault tracks though.
Yeah, her Reputation. So those vault tracks are gonna be great.
But what else was I thinking about with this album? It was when she went to Canada and then she finally changed the bodysuit for Reputation. I remember seeing that and I was like,
everyone's thinking we're getting a re-release now.
I was like, oh my God.
I thought we were getting it. No.
All right. Next, we're on to Lover, and we have Cruel Summer and Lover. Those are the two most popular.
Yeah.
And personally, I would have to choose Lover over Cruel Summer just because of the fact that, not like I don't like that song, because Cruel Summer is a good song. It's just overplayed.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that it's number one because it is played a lot. I'm going to agree. I'm going to go with Lover because...
I mean, it's also a really sweet song.
And that's why I love it.
This is playing at your wedding.
It genuinely, probably.
That and Mary's song.
Yes, absolutely. It is like, I love that song. It's so sweet. It's so cute.
My favorite off of this album is Daylight.
Daylight is a great one.
That's a good one.
It's close. I would say Lover is my number one. I will say All the Love to Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince.
Yup.
I love that one.
That's
and
a good one.
Paper Rings. I've loved Paper Rings like since that came out.
I just don't get the not like hate on this album. It's just people don't give enough love to this album.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
I'm like, sorry, she's a pop girly at heart. Like,
yeah, Lover's in my solidly in my top 5.
Yeah. So next we have Folklore. This is my favorite Taylor Swift album. I love Folklore. Neither of these are my favorite song.
Yeah.
But fun fact for the listeners, I don't know why I'm so sad, but Illicit Affairs was my top song last year and this year. Wow. And I'm like, I just don't skip that song. It's so good. If you can't tell, that's my favorite song ever and also my favorite song off of this album.
It's a good one.
It is good, but it's not the top one. So we have Cardigan and August. Okay. This one's tough.
It is. I like both of these songs. I will also agree that my favorite song in this album is not one of these two. My favorite is Betty.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love Betty. I have the whole one on video from the concert. But
that is a good one.
Between these two, I would go with Cardigan. I feel like, not that I skip them, but I don't listen to these two as much as I do a lot of her other songs.
And I have to agree with you on Cardigan just because of the fact that, first of all, I have a few Taylor Swift cardigans and they're very cozy and I love them.
Yep.
Especially my Speak Now one. That one is like so soft. But anywho's, I just like that song a lot, especially because like, and also it's really popular on TikTok too. Like, and I've heard like different versions of it. Like, have you heard like the one version where it's just like, where it like doesn't really have like much of the background like music? I don't know.
Of Cardigan?
Yeah. Like
probably.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know how to explain it very well, but like it's such a beautiful song.
Yeah. I'm sure I have at some point.
Yeah. And also the lyricism, like my favorite line in that song is I knew you tried to change the ending, Peter losing Wendy.
Yeah.
Because it's so like, you like at first you're just like, oh, like it's a line, but then like you think about it deeper and it's just like, oh, like you think about Peter Pan and Wendy.
Yep.
And the reason why Peter lost Wendy is because he didn't grow up.
Yep.
And I'm like, I see you, Taylor. I see you.
Absolutely. It's just
a good one.
It really is a good one. And this is a great station too. It's WCVF 88.9 FM and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. Hope y'all are loving Radiothon.
Yes.
You got about 4.5 hours left. And a half hour left in our show.
Yeah. So next we have Evermore, my second favorite album. I'm an Evermore girl.
Evermore is not near the top for me. No. Oh. I like her earlier albums the best.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love the sad girl. But my favorite song is Tolerate It, and that's not a top song.
That's a great one.
It is so good. I'm surprised that was not my top song this year, but whatever. So we have Willow and Champagne Problems. I love Willow, but I'm going to have to choose Champagne Problems.
Yeah, Champagne Problems is my favorite off of this album and one of my favorite Taylor songs. And the reason is because the first time I heard that song was the same day that I heard All Too Well 10-minute version for the first time.
Yeah.
Because after I heard All Too Well, I was like, that was amazing.
I need to listen to more.
Can we listen to more? And the very next one they played was Champagne Problems. And that was the first time I'd ever heard it.
You know, another one that I love on this album is Right Where You Left Me. That's a good one, too. I like that one.
Yeah, Evermore is a solid album. It's just, I'm more into the early ones.
I'm still at the restaurant.
Yes.
Anyways, no, I'm not. I'm out of the restaurant.
That's right.
So next we have Midnights, which I remember when this first came out,
me
and
too.
a lot of people weren't a lot of people liked it, but then people weren't liking it.
Yep.
And then they were like, me. And then Tortured Poets Department came out, and I'm like, I bet all of these people are regretting
Yeah.
saying what they said about Midnights because this is a good album. Like,
Oh, yeah. I remember
as much
being-
as
yeah.
a lot of the songs, both on this album and Tortured Poets Department, there's a few tracks that like kind of sound the same just because
Yeah.
Jack Antonoff can't put down the pop synth.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's a great producer. He's produced some great songs, but
Yeah.
brother, put down the pop synth.
I heard Midnights for the first time in my dorm because it was my freshman year
Yeah.
here when it first released. And the thing I remember about it most was that Spotify crashed right at
Yeah.
midnight and Apple Music didn't. And I
That's
had
crazy.
in my group chat of my freshman year friends, there were a couple of other girls that they both had Apple Music.
Yeah.
And so they were ahead of me because my Spotify crashed.
Man.
And I'm looking like I'm just starting the album. And they're like, I remember I was on Maroon, which is the second song on the album.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my gosh, you've got to listen to You're on Your Own, Kid, which is track 5. And I was like, no spoilers, no spoilers.
And you know what? That's not a top song. It's not.
Which is crazy because
It
You're on
is.
Your Own, Kid is my number 1 from this
yeah,
album.
but it's no secret as to why Antihero and Karma
Sure.
are the top two, just
Yeah.
because they're the most played, especially
Right.
Antihero. But I'm choosing Karma just solely because I do really like that song, and I like the little glitter sound effects in the background.
Yeah.
It's so cutesy.
This one is really close for me. I'm
You
going to
wanna-
agree. I'm
Yeah.
going to go with Karma because that's what she ended the Eras tour with. And
Yeah.
I remember looking at the set list and being like, is Karma really the best one to end on? And then
It
she
is.
played it and I was like, yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
How do you feel about the version of it with Ice Spice?
I didn't like it.
I didn't either. It's just so weird because when you get to Ice Spice's part, it like slows down, and I'm
Yeah.
like, the song kind of loses its momentum.
I was not a fan. Yeah.
My favorite off of this one, well, actually, okay, my favorite is one of the 3 a.m. tracks, and that's Would've, Could've, Should've.
That's a great song.
But I also really like Snow on the Beach, but I love
Yeah.
specifically the more Lana Del Rey version. I remember when people were like, where's Lana? And then she was like, we got back in the studio.
Yes. I remember. So first of all, when the 3 a.m., I had no idea the 3 a.m. version was dropping. So
Yeah.
I listened to it when it came out at midnight all the way through, and I went to bed.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, a couple of my friends were talking about Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, and I was like, wait, I don't remember that
Yeah.
song at all.
And you're like, oh, 3
Yeah.
a.m. track.
And you mentioned Snow on the Beach. I used to fight with Maisie, like our news director, Maisie Strader. Freshman year, we used to fight because she loved Snow on the Beach and she did not like Antihero, and I was the opposite. Antihero
Man.
was like at or near the top of my favorites, and I didn't care for Snow on the Beach.
Wow. Probably
Yeah.
because you couldn't hear Lana Del Rey.
I literally remember going back and forth with Maisie about that freshman year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So now we're on to Tortured Poets Department. So we have technically 2 because the anthology is kind of an extension of this album, but it is a separate thing. And she finally released it on vinyl, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But we have Fortnite. Anyways,
Yeah.
I can't hear that like word without thinking about the video game, but it's
Yeah.
not spelled the same way.
That's right.
And then I Could Do It With a Broken Heart. I'm gonna have to choose I Could Do It With a Broken Heart.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna agree. I was not the biggest fan of Fortnite. Like
I don't like
wasn't.
Post Malone is great and everything. I just
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal.
I think it's just because I can't get past Fortnite,
right.
like the
He-
video game.
Post Malone actually drove by me in a golf cart once.
Really?
Yes, when we were
That's
in
crazy.
when we were in Vegas for the Super Bowl because he was doing the halftime show, and we were walking to around the stadium, and we were like, I wonder if we're gonna see anyone famous. And
And
I
then
kid
you see
not,
Post Malone.
it was like 5 minutes later, like he goes by in a golf cart. We're like, that was Post Malone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So now we're finally on to the last one. We're gonna have to speed run some of these.
Yeah,
So we have So High School and I'm Gonna Get You Back.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I've never heard either one of these.
Really?
I've never
you
heard
had to
either
have
one of
had.
them.
Okay, but like, how have you not heard So High School?
I might have heard So High
You've
School.
definitely heard that because like people are like, this is a song about Travis Kelce.
It sounds familiar.
Okay.
I've probably heard it, but
Well,
I don't know.
I'm gonna choose and you're gonna agree with me, I guess.
I'll go with So High
I'm-
School because
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
agree with you there because I like that song
yes,
as much as I also like I'm Gonna Get You Back.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
yeah. So you know what I like, Abby?
Yeah, what do you like?
Fly fishing.
Oh, really?
You should take the bait with this event, Abby. SUNY Fredonia is now offering fly fishing and fly tying classes. Celebrate the 30th anniversary of this class by catching this event. These classes will occur every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. until December 24th. The club will meet at Rockefeller P84. That's the Costello Community Room. That's if you go in the main entrance of the Rockefeller Arts Center. It's right on your left. Again, this is every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m.
Man, you might have time during exam week to go.
I might.
Yeah.
And I might do it. I told Abby before the show, I haven't gone fishing in years, but I would do it again.
Yeah.
For sure.
So now we're getting closer to the end. Not really. We're gonna have to speed run. So now we're getting to just the comparisons of our previous picks. So we have our song against You Belong With Me. And I'm choosing You Belong With Me.
So am I. Our
Okay.
song is great, but You Belong With Me is that's like a Final Four potential championship candidate.
That I agree with.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that a lot of my favorite songs are not the top two.
Yeah, that's how it is for me a little
But
bit.
it's okay.
Yeah.
So next we have Enchanted and All Too Well 10-minute version. I'm choosing All Too Well 10-minute version.
I will too, but it's really close because I love
is.
Enchanted.
Yeah.
That's a tough call.
I didn't realize with making these brackets, I was like, oh, I didn't need all these brackets. What am I doing? I made this last night when I was still like absolutely exhausted.
Right. It's hard it's hard to do brackets that aren't multiples of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if she had 12 albums, it'd be perfect.
She does have 12 albums.
There's 12 on there?
Yeah. Well, there's 12 songs on each side, but she has, because you have,
right.
Oh my God, I almost said debut. No, debut, Fearless, Enchanted, Red, 1989. Look what, I'm reading this. Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights.
Oh yeah, I guess counting the anthology. Yeah,
in the anthology.
I think it's what it usually. At least I'm thinking in college basketball terms because they usually have 16, which makes it easier with because then it gets down to it goes 16, 8, 4.
Yeah. So then we have Wildest Dreams against Don't Blame Me. This one's tough.
This one I'm gonna go with Wildest Dreams. I Don't Blame Me is great, but I'm gonna go with Wildest Dreams.
I want to disagree with you because I want to choose Don't Blame Me just because it's like especially that moment, like especially in the Eras tour when she gets to the part like the Oh Lord Save Me, like that part.
That is a great
I'm like,
part.
oh, like take me to church, please.
Yes, that is a great part, and I will say if she did Wildest Dreams like as part of her main 1989 set, then I think it would have been great. I don't
know why she didn't put that in the set.
I don't either. I think it would have been so great.
Yeah, but like
I'll go with you on Don't Blame Me because of how great it is at the Eras.
Yeah, see, I swindled you.
It is well, I swindled you on our song, so
that's fair.
We're tied.
And also like you have seen Taylor Swift in concert,
that is true.
So you know,
which was crazy. That was my cousin and I went. That was insane.
I still saw Sabrina Carpenter. I just gotta keep telling myself that.
I survived that Ticketmaster queue. I bought those tickets. I was sitting in my car in the Chautauqua Hall parking lot. And
Chautauqua Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when I went to see Sabrina Carpenter, I bought mine. It was like a resale ticket.
Oh, okay.
And I was surprised that I got it. And then I remember I was in the station and talking about how I was like, oh, I'm going to sell this because I'm like, I don't know if I have enough money to go.
Right.
And then my dad was like, you should still go. He's like, you need to have fun. And
it's a once in a lifetime experience.
And then I drove to Canada by myself. That was a weird experience.
That had to have been crazy.
Honestly, though, it wasn't as bad. I think especially now that I'm such an experienced driver after driving for like the past year, I definitely think it was a lot easier. But some Canadians on the road are kind of rude.
Which is crazy because you think Canadians are nice.
I know. Right? You know, like because they have people like Ryan Reynolds.
They do have people like Ryan Reynolds.
Which, speaking of, now segue. They're friends, Taylor and Ryan.
They are.
And Blake Lively. Imagine, like, their kids, they must not know how good they have it. Because, like, these kids, their godmother is Taylor Swift.
That's right.
One of their uncles is Hugh Jackman. I'm like, and your parents are Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They seem like genuinely nice, like great celebrities, too. Like, they seem like great people.
Yeah. So next, we have Lover against Cardigan.
I gotta go with Lover. Lover is so sweet.
And I'm going with Cardigan because Folklore is my favorite album.
Lover is like you said, Lover is one that is like going to be played at my wedding.
Yeah.
Like it is. It didn't used to be like one of my top ones, but I think it is my number one from that album now.
Yeah. No, and I think it's such a, now segue. Their friends, Taylor and Ryan, and Blake Lively. Imagine, like, their kids, they must not know how good they have it. Because, like, these kids, their godmother is Taylor Swift. One of their uncles is Hugh Jackman. I'm like, and your parents are Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They
see where you're coming from. But again, I'm such a folklore girly. I love Cardigan. And it is another one of her like kind of longer songs.
Yeah.
I just love the lyricism in it.
It is
just,
really good.
Like, not like Lover doesn't have like good lyrics. I just personally think from Cardigan, the lyrics are so like deep. Like
they are.
And I just like that line, like the Peter losing Wendy. And then like
that's a great line.
And then also, if we didn't have this song, we wouldn't have her iconic cardigans.
That is a good point.
With the stars on the sleeves.
That is a good point. And because of that, I'll go with you on Cardigan.
Yes.
As much as I love Lover, you can't understate the significance of Cardigan.
Yeah,
and the lyricism is incredible.
Again, I wouldn't have my nice old cardigans if without that. And speaking of those cardigans, what do you think of the Tortured Poets Department one? Because I remember when that released and I was like, it's just gray, nothing on it. I was like, I get it. It's supposed to be a little bit more, I'm going to say demure.
Yeah. Which was the word of the year.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
That's crazy.
I had to explain to my mom what I meant.
It literally only started becoming popular again over the summer.
Yeah.
Like, why is that the word of the year?
It was that impactful, I guess.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. I'm just very thankful that Skippity was not
I am
the word
so
of the
thankful.
year. I'm like, we did not let the 12-year-olds win.
But with the Tortured Poets Department, like, I was like, oh, yeah, she's going to release a cardigan for this. And then I didn't see anything fancy on the sleeves. And I get it. Some people might not want the like, especially like 1989 cardigan. I like that cardigan, but like the seagulls on the back, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I would rather have them on the sleeve, but it's okay. It's okay. But like, I was just like, oh, there's like nothing on it. And it's like still $70.
Yeah, it was a little underwhelming.
I was like, for a sweater like that, it shouldn't be that pricey. Because I could buy the same looking sweater at like a thrift store for less. For sure. I don't know. That's my own personal gripe with it. So next we have Champagne Problems against Karma. I'm choosing Champagne Problems.
I'm also choosing Champagne Problems because that's one of my favorite Taylor songs.
I agree with you. So.
It's so good.
So
that was an easy one.
That was
no
easy.
debate involved.
And then now you're probably gonna choose I Could Do It With a Broken Heart.
I am gonna choose I Could Do It With a Broken Heart.
Because it's that versus So High School. I like I Could Do It With a Broken Heart and I'm choosing So High School, but I'm gonna talk about why I like I Could Do It With a Broken Heart because I like listening to that song. It's so interesting to me because like I listened to that and I'm like, and it made me, when I first listened to it, it was like making me reflect on like a lot of what I've been through like in the past. So like the year prior, like 2023, and then also thinking about, well, now more so into 2024, thinking about all that's been happening to me. And I'm like, man, like I have been down in the trenches for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
I'm down in the trenches with just feelings and whatever. And I'm like, but I'm still here.
Right.
I'm still going. And I'm like, and that's like why I like that song.
Yeah, that's sweet.
But I personally really like So High School just because I'm like, every time I listen to it, I'm like swaying back and forth. I'm like, it's so cute. And then also like, I feel like I know she's written obviously on these other albums, other songs about other people she's dated, but I feel like the songs she has been writing about Travis, like they're just so like real. Like I'm not saying like the other songs she wrote, like the other love songs she wrote weren't real, because definitely about Joe, they were definitely real.
Oh, for sure.
But I just feel like this is so much more like I don't know, like
it's
genuine.
a little bit like deeper, and it's like a more mature kind of love.
Especially because like she's like, this is like a great like I know people have their opinions about them, but I personally think it's a great relationship just personally as a fan, seeing where like the relationship she's been in and like where she's come from.
Yep.
And then now she has someone who like is proud to show her off and all that stuff. Like,
and I love that even
though you don't like the Chiefs.
I'm not a big Travis I have warmed up to Travis a lot more
because of Taylor.
Because of Taylor, and because with like his podcast with Jason, I've seen more of a human side of him.
But hey, you know what? You're probably not seeing the Chiefs at the Super Bowl this year. So
that's right, because they're not going to be there.
Yep. The Bills might.
That's because the Bills are winning.
And big Bills news is that Josh Allen proposed to Haley Steinfeld.
Yes, and how sweet was it? That Haley Steinfeld asked Josh Allen 17 questions.
It was so cute. Matt showed me one of them yesterday, and I was like gushing.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, like I'm not even like a football fan, but I'm loving Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld. Like, I'm like, Travis,
he's
it up now.
playing well with Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah. And I just they're so cute together. I love them. And I also just like Haley Steinfeld. Shamik Moore is in the trenches though. That guy, he is not loving this.
No.
But I'm still going with my pick of So High School.
Yeah, I think I can go with you on that one. It's like that's another one where I could kind of go either way.
Yeah. Especially because you haven't listened to this. Now you have to.
I know. I really need to.
When you go back to your townhouse, you just put the song in the car.
At like 8:30 in the morning as I'm eating my Cheerios, I'll listen to.
Oh yeah, you brought your Cheerios.
I did. Actually, I finished my Cheerios.
Oh no.
I usually last year I brought my Cocoa Puffs and I spilled them.
Cocoa Puffs. Reese's Puffs. Reese's. I think about
Eat them up.
Yeah, I think about that all the time. Did you, I know that they came out with a Bill's cereal. Did you ever have that?
The Josh's Jacks?
Yeah.
Yes, I have many empty boxes.
Oh my God. Was it good?
It was pretty good. It was like it was almost kind of like Fruit Loops, but way sweeter and only the red and blue ones.
Yeah.
It
that
was.
sounds about right.
It was pretty good. It was a little too sugary, but I used to eat it. I would eat it before every single Bills game.
Yeah.
In the morning for breakfast. Yep.
Honestly, those were definitely those were flying off the shelves.
Yeah, they were crazy, and they haven't made them. They did make them this year. I don't think they made them last year either.
Yeah, Bills fans are crazy. They really
right,
are.
We are.
I have now experienced that firsthand going to a tailgate.
That's right, Bills Mafia. I have jumped through a table before.
Yes, and I've seen the video.
It was really
funny.
bad. It was really bad. I jumped. It was after the Bills beat the Dolphins last year. It was a horrible jump. Squish the fish. Because I was jumping off the roof of my friend's car.
Yeah. So now we're getting into the funky territory where we have 3 songs. So we kind of just have to compare all 3. And then, I guess we could just pick the best 2 out of all 3. So then we still have like more time to fill. So we have You Belong With Me, All Too Well 10-minute version, and Don't Blame Me.
I got to go with You Belong With Me and All Too Well 10-minute version.
This is tough because, again, I still love Don't Blame Me.
Yeah, so do I.
Like, I personally would choose All Too Well 10-minute version and Don't Blame Me.
Not You Belong With Me?
I like that song. I told you earlier, I like ballads. Like, I love ballads.
Oh.
But I can see where your argument comes from for You Belong With Me because, again, it's like a song I hear and I'm like immediately dancing to. And like, even if you don't like Taylor Swift, like this song comes on, everybody knows the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's dancing.
Right.
So like.
My mom knows that song. Yeah. Like she knows
Shout out
Love
to Matt's
Story.
mom.
She knows Love Story because it was in Romeo and Juliet.
I love that movie.
I'm not even kidding.
That's a good movie.
She asked me one time, I was talking about Taylor Swift and she's like, oh, I like the song that was in Romeo and Juliet. I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about?
Romeo and Juliet.
She's like, the one that's like the Romeo, take me. I'm like, you mean Love Story, Mom? She's like,
oh, yeah. Shout out to Matt's mom.
Shout out to Matt's
Also,
mom.
shout out to my mom because she's listening.
Yes. Hi, Abby's mom. My mom is definitely asleep, but
yeah.
Hi, Abby's mom. Well, maybe if the dog is up, then maybe mine was awake, but I don't know.
So I think I'm now swindled. I'll go with what you picked. So we're gonna
a couple of classics.
We're getting rid of Don't Blame Me. So we're gonna put that back where it was.
Which Don't Blame Me is awesome.
It is a good song, especially like in concert, like seeing that.
Oh, it was incredible in concert. Yeah.
You were like.
It was really cool. It was awesome. That's the only time I've been in another football team stadium, but it was fine.
Wow. Yeah, because it was
the Steelers stadium.
I love those TikToks where it's just like, oh no, the Barbie dream house was now turned back into a Mojo Dojo Kaza house. And that makes those kind of TikToks make me giggle.
Yeah.
So next we have our next 3 is Cardigan, Champagne Problems, and So High School. I'm choosing Cardigan and Champagne Problems.
Yep, me too.
Okay. We don't have to discuss this.
No, those 2 are both great. Or like So High School, I need to listen to.
You
but
need
like
to listen to now.
Cardigan and Champagne Problems are just awesome.
And you know what? We talked about this earlier. And I guess like if we have time left, we could talk about like all of our other favorite songs. But Guilty as Sin not being a top song in this album.
I didn't even mention
crazy.
that. Guilty as Sin is my favorite one on the Torture Poets department, without question.
Good.
Yep.
Anyways. So now we're down to the last 4. We have You Belong With Me and All Too Well 10-minute version. Now we have to pick between those 2, Matt.
Oh man, that is.
I would go with All Too Well 10-minute version.
I also would.
It's just the lyricism.
Lyricism.
It's so good.
Right, and the significance of it for me, although You Belong With Me, that's hard to go against in any context. I will admit, I watched the original music video on YouTube, even though it is stolen. I
It's
still watch
stolen.
it. It is stolen. So I don't listen on Spotify, but
it is a
I
good
do
music
watch.
video though.
Oh, it's so
like I
cute.
love watching people when they dress up for the Eras tour and they
And wearing
dress
the
up
Junior
as
Jewel
that.
shirts.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so cute.
I want a Junior Jewel shirt.
Oh, you should get one.
I should get one.
You could probably find one on like Etsy. For,
I'm
like-
sure I could.
Yeah, or you can make one.
I could make one.
You
That's
could.
true. It
That
would
would be
not look
cheaper.
anything close, but yeah.
But it's the thought that
It's the
counts.
thought that counts, right?
So next, this one's hard for me because
Yeah.
again, my two favorite albums, Cardigan and Champagne Problems. Woof. This is tough for me because I love both.
I'm going with Champagne Problems. I do really like both, but Champagne Problems is one that I find myself like, that is one that like sometimes I will admit I have skipped Cardigan before just because there's sometimes that I'm not exactly in the right mood for it.
Yeah, it's one of those songs that you do have to be in the mood.
Right.
But I feel like that's a lot of like Evermore and folklore. You
I
gotta
agree.
be in the mood, and the mood is typically sad.
Yes, and Champagne Problems is one that I can almost confidently say I have never skipped.
Yeah, it's like I haven't skipped either of these really.
Yeah.
It's tough because again, I love like lyricism. Like I love good lyrics, and both of them have such good lyrics. And like, like people could say all they want about Taylor, and like people have said like her lyrics suck, but I'm just like, dude, listen to some other songs that aren't like playing on the radio all the time, and look at the lyrics.
Not me. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, like don't listen to that on WGVO.
No, like the song "Me."
Oh yeah.
Or don't listen to me. Whatever.
Whatever.
Me, I will admit, I kind of do like that song. Though.
It is a good song.
I kind of do.
I think people just don't like Brendan Urie,
and
that's fair.
Yeah, it's that, and it's like, man, that thing was overplayed like 5 years ago. It was, yeah.
But what was I gonna say about this one? I had a thought and I lost it. It's okay. I'm very tired.
Yeah,
I'm getting actually more awake now that we've been doing this.
I also, it's like I'm finding myself more tired, but I slept like more than twice as long for this radiothon. I slept for 45 minutes in the spring.
Yeah.
It was really bad, and I got a solid almost 3 hours of sleep last night, which is good for me for radiothon.
Yeah. I still feel I'm still so on Cardigan.
Yeah.
Like it's just so good. And like I said, my argument is that without this song, we wouldn't have the Taylor Swift Cardigans.
Which is a good point. That's like a core element.
like raw emotion. But same as all three of these, honestly, that we have left, like these, like All Too Well, 10 Minute Version, Champagne Problems, and Cardigan, they're all like such raw emotion.
Yeah.
That's why this is tough. This is where we needed the time.
Right. She does mention cardigan or cardigans in other songs.
She does.
Like in Betty.
Yep.
Standing in your cardigan. Like, so for that.
And I love, that's what I love about folklore is that it's like a storybook.
Yep.
And same with Evermore. It's also like a storybook.
Yeah.
But
so
you're going to go with Cardigan.
I'll go with you on Cardigan because of how iconic it is. To Taylor, yeah.
Well, now we're in tough territory because now we gotta choose.
The championship.
We have to choose which is the best one out of Taylor Swift's whole. Well, okay, this is just out of best stream songs.
That's right.
This is like actually the best song.
Oh, we would need hours for that.
Yeah, and we don't have hours.
We
only
don't.
have
We have
1 hour. Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like even then, people would say like All Too Well, 10-minute version. But it's tough because again, I still love Cardigan. Like that's
which is
such a
great.
good one.
Yeah,
And like I do listen to All Too Well 10-minute version, but it's like one of those songs that I like. Same for Cardigan, like having to be in the mood for it. But I feel I find myself listening to Cardigan more than All Too Well 10-minute version. And again, not that I don't like the 10-minute version because it is a long song that I can actually focus on.
Yeah,
it's just one of those where it's just like I gotta be in the mood to listen to a 10-minute song.
It's like, for me, I do sometimes find myself, like, if I'm driving and I only have, like, 3 minutes left until I'm going to get where I need to be, and that comes on, like, I will skip it and listen to
because you're like, I don't
shorter.
have 10 minutes to listen to
because I don't have
this.
time. Yeah. Now, if that comes on when I'm, like, driving to Buffalo and I have an hour,
You could loop it.
I literally could. I almost have, like,
Yeah. But I think I would choose Cardigan just because it's my personal favorite album, but also like I know Red is Taylor's favorite album of hers. It is the favorite child.
I would have to go with All Too Well 10-minute version again for it being the significance of that it has had for me.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And also, like, with this song, like, not many artists are putting out songs that are this long.
No.
So,
and how many are doing it as well as she did?
It reminds me of, like, when Queen came out with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
like,
which was a groundbreaking song.
Yeah.
And this was,
and if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have this.
Yeah.
So I think I will put down my pride and put away Cardigan, and we will go with All Too Well 10-minute version. That is our winner. That is the champion of today.
And that is an iconic song. I mean, that
was so much discussion.
It really was. I think it's good though. Like there's so many different songs of hers that are just like awesome.
And yeah, it's such a good song. I think some honorable mentions for me on because we didn't talk about all of our favorites on all of these albums. Mm-hmm. I definitely think for 1989, my favorite would have to be a one that I cannot say on air. The title, it's in quotes. You know what I'm talking about, though. I cannot say that one on air because it is not SEC clean.
Correct.
But it is a favorite of mine.
It is a great song, for sure. It's not what I expected.
Got love struck, went straight to my head. That's a lyric.
Yeah.
So anyone listening, now you can tell what song it is.
When I saw like when I thought that it was going to be like a very pump up, and then I heard it, I was like, this is so different.
I was like, oh my God. And honestly, when that re-release came out, that was my favorite time. Like last year, like around October, November, when this came out, that was like, I think one of the best times of my life.
Yeah, it was really good. I like as far as 1989
because we also had the FNAF movie.
We had the FNAF
and Josh
movie.
Hutcherson, the whistle meme, and
oh jeez,
Josh Hutcherson Renaissance.
I found a whistle meme like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding
Q
me!"
was singing it yesterday.
Of course he was.
But yeah, and then I think we talked about all the other albums, like what our favorites are. I think that was the only one we didn't talk about. I mean, on Reputation, actually, because we didn't talk about that one. Yeah. I think my favorite on that one, I think it's Call It What You Want. Yeah. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. And I think that's a great way to wrap up our show this morning.
So, All Too Well 10-minute version. Yes. You were our winner.
That's right. We don't have time to play it, of course.
We don't have time, but we have other songs to play. So.
We do, and we have other shows to be on later today. There's going to be some great ones. There is a literature hour that is supposed to be very esteemed and very riveting. That starts at 8 o'clock.
Indubitably, which is our word of the week. It's our
Thank
word
you,
of
Scott
the
Bassett,
week.
for the word of the week. Yes,
word of the week. Last week was jubilant.
Last week was.
I like that word a lot.
Over break. I do too. That's a good word.
But yeah, so keep listening to Radiothon and have a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will catch y'all later. Bye now.